The following show is for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
You know you're writing with the bottom of the pen? Thanks. Can we start over? That wasn't the right one. What's up, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching Hijinks TV from? It's your friendly local neighborhood Dick and Ewok here. And we're here with the very first episode of What Chaps My Ass, with a very special guest, Chris Ewok Carlson from Appalachian Outlaws on the History Channel. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the very first episode of What Chaps My Ass. Thank you so much for sitting down and speaking with me today, and we are going to be discussing the topic of marijuana laws. One of the questions that I was wondering myself was when exactly it went into, when it got made illegal, and when these laws went into effect, because I didn't realize exactly how long ago, and it wasn't even necessarily long ago anymore, that marijuana was used for so many things. And I believe it was in the 30s, 37 that they, 37 that they actually started to use racism to get people to vote for outlawing marijuana. And I can't understand if somebody were to research this and find this out and realize that that's one of the, not the leading reason, but it is a very big reason as to why marijuana is illegal today, is because of racism. That I wonder if they just changed their mind off that fact alone.
I'm sure there'd be some people that would. You know, one of the quotes was, it causes white women to sleep with black men. That was a big thing. That was one of the huge things that they posted about. Mm-hmm. And they advertised with then, was the fact that, like you said, they used racism to help promote it, and the whole reefer madness craze.
Yeah. Oh, that I'm glad that people are seeing that movie as a comedy more so nowadays. But
yes,
the fact that it was actually put out in a serious tone to try to sway people away from smoking marijuana is hilarious.
Well, you know, and they pushed it all the way. There are so many, you can find old medicine bottles and look at them, and they'll list cannabis as one of the ingredients. Mm-hmm. And, you know, marijuana is a term that was always cannabis. And marijuana was a Mexican term for the plant, and they started using marijuana, once again in racism, towards the Mexican folks that were coming in and out of this country, that already lived in this country. Folks that were coming here as immigrant workers, which in the 1930s that was way easier than it is today, and they had nowhere near as bad of an immigration problem. But that's another subject to get into, is how it is tied to immigration.
Oh yeah, that was actually exactly another topic that I was going to bring up for another show. Yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, that's exactly the saying that it was making all the Mexicans crazy. Like, just because you can't understand what they're saying when they're drunk doesn't mean they're crazy.
Right.
That, like,
we're the same thing to them. They can't understand us either.
Exactly.
And I'd say 3/4 of the time they think that we're just freaking crazy too.
Oh yeah, muy loco. But and yeah, I saw one of their quotes was it makes a black man step on a white man's shadow and look at a white woman twice. And
yeah, I've seen that one also.
Yeah, I discovered that information when I was in 9th grade. That was one of the reasons that my grandfather, he was a command master chief of the United States Navy in the Seabees, and he was totally against marijuana. I can't remember the exact terms that he would call them, but there was a lot of funny words that he would call potheads. But right there before he died, when I discovered that information, I shared it with him. He was like, I didn't realize this, and then I told him of all the benefits for it, because he had cancer and he was going through chemotherapy, and I was telling him, this could help you. This could help you a lot. And he was going to do it. He actually changed his mind. He was going to do it when I showed him the facts and did research pretty much for him. And that's, I think, a lot of people don't do anymore, is they don't want to do research themselves. They want people to tell them what's real, and they're just going to believe it.
Well, most people today, like you said, they don't do their own research. Fox News gives them all the information they need, or CNN gives them all the information they need, or MSNBC gives them all the information that they need, and nothing else is the truth.
Yeah.
This is the news media. They're not going to lie to us.
No, they'd never do that.
They would never do that. But that's another topic. We'll talk about that one later too.
Oh yeah. So moving on a little bit from why, you know what? No, we can go into a little bit more, because there is a lot more why it was made illegal. I can't remember his name right now. I want to say, it was William Randolph and Harry Anslinger were two of the names that I saw that marijuana was monetarily threatening towards their businesses. And I found out that there's the military actually used to use it. They used to they did not used to smoke pot. They used to use hemp for the ropes and for stuff, for different materials, because it's so durable. And there's not just medical benefits, but there's a bunch of other industries that it was damaging, or potentially could have damaged.
Big pharmacy and big oil. Henry Ford actually had plans on making body panels out of hemp. He was so far ahead of his time.
Oh yeah.
And he may have been an anti-Semite. He did support Hitler, but with that aside, he had planned on hemp across the board. To use the hemp oil to run the vehicles. The petroleum industry tried to push him out of business because he kept refusing to go to the internal combustion engine. And they would probably succeeded if he wouldn't have caved and went to the internal combustion. Before we had diesel fuel, we had the diesel engine. The diesel engine came before diesel fuel. And the original diesel engines actually ran on hemp-based fuels, a lot of this vegetable protein fuels. the original diesel engine would run off of. Now, diesel fuel is a byproduct of them making gasoline for a sparked engine. So they couldn't have the hemp being in the way of that.
Yeah.
And the body panels that Henry Ford wanted to make for his car, basically he was making a hemp plastic, which they now use the byproducts from the production of gasoline to make those.
Yeah, I actually did not know about the early diesel. That's interesting. Another topic.
Yeah, the first vehicles on the planet ran on hemp oil.
Perfect reason why they'd want that to be illegal then.
Yes.
So, and now moving on a little bit from the legalization, I didn't realize that it was 96 when, I want to say it was around 96 when they first started bringing back medicinal, and I want to say it was 29 states, I want to say now, are medicinal.
I believe it is, and at 33, that is enough states to override the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
So we're 4 states away medicinally.
Yeah.
To having the federal government be able to have no say in it because they've been overridden by what's called, the states all go together, it's called a convention of states. But the way prohibition was repealed wasn't 33 states at that time, because at that point in time we only had 48 states. But with 50 states, and that overturns. In prohibition, those states just kept saying, oh, you know what, we're going to legalize alcohol. We're going to legalize alcohol. And then the federal government had no say. They were overridden. And people forget that we really have that power.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government is not the know-all, be-all, say-all. They can be overridden.
Exactly.
By the people and by the states. And then they have no say in it.
In that also was another topic that I was going to be bringing up for another one, because there's so many people don't realize that the federal government can be overridden if there's enough people to stand up against them, right? And we are hopefully getting closer to that.
Well, it's definitely the polls are showing that more and more and more people are saying, you know what? This is not a bad thing. It's believed that somewhere around 75% of Americans either do or they have used cannabis in some way, shape, or form.
Even if they don't admit it.
That's where the leeway can come in. They're saying they're saying at least 75%. It's like you said, the people that'll admit it, and then they're probably figuring in the ones they figure do not admit it.
Yep. And that's one of the next things I was going to bring up was I was actually looking over statistics, and I had found that in 2006 they did a poll, and 32 people were in favor of and 60 people were against the legalization of marijuana, whereas now, and I want to say this was back in 2014, I think this study was posted. So 3 years difference is probably different. And that also, I was looking at a lot of sites, so that could have actually been a different date on a different site. But anyway, now it was 53% were for and only 44% were against. So there's more people, and even of that, there was only a smaller percent that said that they were not for it, but they changed their minds because they realized that it was no worse than alcohol or tobacco.
Actually better in so many ways.
Oh yeah. And that's when a lot of people just think of, oh, you're smoking weed. Well, you're, using the medicine, and yeah, you can smoke it, or, there's other options now with the edibles that are coming out in the shops that here anyway. And obviously this isn't everywhere, but here in Washington we have the shops that we can go into, and they have wide variety of new ways that, so you're not always smoking it, but and also that it's been associated with the word drug. And anytime somebody hears the word drug, they automatically think of a low-life piece of shit that's not doing anything for society. So yeah, there's going to be a negative feeling there when you call it a drug.
And that's psychological warfare that they do use. Myself, I use a cannabis-based pain cream on my knee. I hurt my knee at work the 2nd day of November of this year. And I'm not eating pain pills. And I'm dealing with my pain pretty well, I must say. Some hydrocodone may take the pain totally away, but then I'm going to be groggy. And I'm a wildland firefighter. I cannot have my mind elsewhere or my thoughts slowed down being in that job.
Yeah.
And the cannabis cream that I use on my knee is phenomenal. And I found out inadvertently I have psoriasis. I've got psoriasis on my knees. My knee that is injured, where I'm using the cannabis cream on my knee, the psoriasis is gone off that knee. That's a side effect. Oh my God. And it's not a side effect that I'm going to have some tick, or that I'm going to have a bloody stool, or I could have a heart attack and die. I could have a stroke and die. It happens to wind up being a pretty fabulous side effect. If this lotion was a little cheaper, I would buy enough to put on all of my psoriasis and probably cure my psoriasis. But the knee that I'm using it on, the psoriasis is gone. I can put the two knees side by side, and the one knee is white, flaky, hard skin at the bottom of the knee. And the other knee, there's still some red discoloration, but all the white, flaky stuff is gone. It doesn't itch like the other knee does. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, and it's there's even studies, and I did fact check to make sure that this, when I saw this video posted, that it was accurate. And if you're watching and you would like to, you can easily YouTube the video, and that it has been proven to kill cancer cells. That the THCs.
1974, the federal government discovered that it had the probability of maybe curing cancer, and they patented it and buried the research. Does the federal government have our best interest in mind? I say no. But
nope.
There's another episode.
Yep. Exactly. They don't. After everything that I've seen over just the last 5 years, and that's not a long time for me, is just to really open my eyes to how much the government does not really care about the wellness of the country.
So what you trying to say exactly?
How you doing?
What's up, man?
How's it going? I forgot where we were. Yeah, obviously, the people are still against it because the negative infliction that it has with the word drug, and they're either not willing to go out and do the research and take the time to look up, and go through the false information and go through the right, correct, not Wikipedia, and figure out why it's actually illegal and why it shouldn't be, and all the benefits that it has, not just medicinally, but for the economy alone. And Colorado definitely proved that in the first 6 months. Colorado proved that. Yeah, it was, they did the year, but we saw a boom in their economy in just 6 months alone when they legalized it.
And I'm sure with Washington and Oregon, out where you're at too, that the economy's done a very similar thing. West Virginia, which is really the first. Some people say West Virginia is not a southern state. Let me tell you, I've lived in Tennessee, I've lived in West Virginia. West Virginia is a southern state. No ifs, ands, or buts. They will tell you that they are a southern state. They are the first southern state to legalize to the aspect that they have medicinally. And there's a lot of talk in the West Virginia legislature about legalizing recreationally because they see what Colorado has done. And their process is let us be the Colorado of the East Coast. We're going to do this, and West Virginia is a tourism-based state anyway. Besides coal production, the whitewater rafting industry, the skiing industry, people that come there just to see the mountains, people that come there for leaf color in the fall, it is a tourist state.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to legalize recreationally, they would Colorado of the East. And there would be a lot more people, especially East Coast folks, that live from Maine to Florida to Missouri, would probably come to West Virginia to visit just because. And that's hotel dollars, that's gas station dollars, that's food service dollars. There's toll roads in West Virginia, so there's toll dollars. There's people that's going to speed. They're going to get speeding tickets. There's speeding ticket dollars. Tax dollars across the board. West Virginia will pull themselves up by the bootstraps with the dying coal industry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I think that's one thing that I'll just generalize, I think that's one thing the government doesn't want anybody to realize is how much money there is to be made off this just for their states. And they want us to keep listening to the false things that are spread out on Facebook, and whatever idiot's gonna post whatever on Twitter and get it trending within a half hour. Like, if people would take the time to go off Facebook and go off those social media sites and look and just do I did 20 minutes of research, and I actually found out stuff that I hadn't known until now. Like, I didn't realize that they used hemp for currency back in, I can't remember now. It was the 1700s, I want to say, that they were using it for currency over in Britain. That's a good idea.
And the majority of our founding fathers grew it.
So, I mean, why was it all of a sudden in the 30s that it was so bad? And a lot of people forget that there was, money. Yeah, the people in the bars. The people in the bars forget that their alcohol that they're drinking used to be illegal. You used to not be able to get it unless you had a prescription for it. There was a thing called alcohol prohibition. And
our government even poisoned barrels of alcohol to kill people, to try to scare them off of it. We know that for a fact now.
Oh, wow. Surprise, surprise. And like that's exactly, except I think it's kind of exactly, marijuana has a prohibition on it, but at the same point, it's not as dangerous as alcohol. And I was a heavy drinker. I was an alcoholic for a couple of years. And
I have been too. And I drink very little nowadays.
Yeah, every now and then. I do have a drunken video from last Thanksgiving, but that was the first time I drank in a long time, and I held my liquor pretty good.
But, I come from a liquor production family. I've had many, many kin people that made liquor throughout the years. I don't even have a problem with that.
Oh, no.
Of course, I'm a very, very much, I'm a individual liberty person, just to keep it simple for now. And, if I want to make liquor for me and maybe some buddies, once again, I really don't think that the government should have any say in that.
No.
If I want to sell it in big time production And you know what? Yeah, they deserve taxes off that. I understand that. But, you know, if I wanted to make it and send you a case of it across the country, you know, maybe I should pay a tax because it crossed some state lines, unless I'm giving it to you. And then it's a gift, and that can't be taxed. But anyway, let's just stick to the subject. I could ramble off for years. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, that's not a problem at all. So one of the things I also was looking up was what really is like the difference between, because I know that even in the states that it's recreational and medicinal, there's still feds going and kicking down people's doors. And so I was looking in to see what the federal and the state laws really, how different they were. And the only thing that I could find after looking for a while was that the federal laws were just for more so if people are caught trafficking, and that the state gets over. So I'm still confused on how, if it's recreational and medicinal, how are these people with, and I saw a video, I'll try to find the link for it on YouTube, because it was on YouTube about this, and it looked like it was just somebody's house. It did not look like it was gangsters or druggies. It didn't look like they were mass producing and trafficking and selling. They had their door kicked in and were held at gunpoint on the ground while the feds went through their house because they had a couple of plants. I'll look in to see exactly how much that was, because it could have been a trafficking amount, but the federal laws still, like we said earlier, can be trumped if we have enough states that will legalize it and enough people that will vote to legalize it and support the legalization of it.
Also, legally, according to the Constitution of the United States, if federal agents want to come kick your door in, they do have to get permission of your sheriff first for it to be 100% legal. What most people don't realize is the sheriff is really the law of the land. The sheriff can tell federal agents to go get bent. No, they cannot go arrest you. Now, once you leave his county, of course, that's a different story, but the sheriff of a county can tell the feds no.
That is good information, because I personally did not know that. So that's another thing we should discuss in another show as well.
This sounds good.
So the last thing I was looking over was who all really does the laws really affect, and the only thing I could think of was literally everybody, not just those who don't use it. It affects everybody with them making it illegal. Like we had said earlier, look at Colorado, look at Washington, Oregon. California's projected first year, there's so much that it could benefit everybody. That's not just going to benefit the people who smoke marijuana, that's benefiting the entire state. I don't think a lot of these people realize that, okay, if these people are going to go sit in their house and, hang out with some buddies and smoke some weed, or, these people literally can't eat. I went through it for a while where I wouldn't eat unless I had smoked a couple hits because I wasn't hungry. I didn't have an appetite. It helped me to not waste away completely. And so, who really cares when there's people who go out to the bars on a weekly basis, get hammered, and nightly. Yeah, I worked at a bar for a couple years, and I saw the same people there every single night because I worked 7 days a week. So, and those were some of the same people that were totally against it. And I was like, do you like me as a person? Well, yeah. Okay. I smoke weed a lot. So, what do you have to say bad about me? Well, nothing. Okay, so where's your argument? I don't have anything bad to say about you because, you're drinking. You like to drink. So who is it really hurting to have it legalized? the government.
And it's not necessarily hurting the government. It would probably really help the government, tax dollar wise.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the people putting money in politicians' pockets is where that issue comes in. Because the lobbyists from big pharmacy, from big oil, prison unions, police unions, those are the folks putting money in politicians' pockets and saying, this is how we want you to vote. And that's what they do, is they go and vote that way.
And once again, they obviously don't have our best interest.
Exactly.
And that...
So who's patting their pocket is who they're going to serve.
And that will be the topic that we will go over Friday, is the politics, the government, how much do they really care about us? Well, thank you again so much for taking the time to talk with me. Was there anything else that you would like to add?
I've got one more crazy hemp fact.
All right.
Until 1937, when it was all made illegal, the federal government went on a rampage. They annihilated and wiped out feral hemp, so wild growing hemp. At one point in time, there'd just be fields of it growing random.
Mm-hmm.
And cows would eat out of it. Pigs would eat out of it. So, being it was hemp, it was very low THC, a different type of THC, but it had lots of CBDs in it,
mm-hmm.
which is where lots of people find the medicinal use okay, because CBDs are good. And so, farm animals free-ranged a lot. They ate a lot of wild feral hemp.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer rates per capita were lower pre-1937, 38. Then after that, the cancer rates actually started to go up. And even though we're to the point now where they're saying we're saving more people than ever, well, we might be saving more people than ever, but it has exponentially went up the number of people that get cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So, by percentage, are we really saving more people than ever? What happens is our brain and different parts of our body have receptors in it, okay? A CBD molecule will fit into said receptor. A THC molecule will fit into said receptor. But neither one of them fit perfectly. When CBD and THC are bound together, it fits perfectly into that receptor. So, we have the food that we eat, eating hemp. And I'm sure that they ate some cannabis that had THC in it too, don't get me wrong. We know that probably happened. But anyway, through the meat that we eat, there was a lot of hemp in certain food products at one point in time. Our bodies take on the CBD. CBD, very good for the body. There is cannabinoids in mother's milk that comes out of their body naturally. There are cannabinoids in that. Our bodies are designed by, depending on whether you're a religious person or not, the way we were designed by God, or whether we were designed by Mother Nature or Allah or whomever. If we were by an intelligent design, they designed our bodies to have CBD and THC in them.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to get that some through meat that we ate. And once they eradicated the hemp and the cattle, the pigs, the whatever, quit eating those things, we started getting less and less and less and less of it. Even though during World War II, hemp was still illegal. Our government pushed farmers to grow it. Hemp for victory. That was the slogan. And then once the war's over, it's okay, that's evil again. We can't have any more of that. But now it's evil. Like, let's just do away with it again. We don't need any more of that.
Yeah, that's I did not know that the government that actually, I believe they made it illegal for a while for farmers not to grow a certain amount of hemp on their land per acre that they had. I'm not, what, okay. That memory was a little bit foggy because I had looked, that was from when I was in 9th grade doing research, was it was actually illegal for farmers to not grow hemp. So why was it at one point the government made it illegal for them to not grow it? But, and I understand that hemp and, you know, growing it for other products other than smoking it are two different things. But at the same time, it's a damn plant. it's a plant.
Well, and the cannabis that will get you high and the cannabis that we call hemp, the plants are identical. I'm sure a botanist can look at them and tell them apart. But for the common person to look at it, you can't tell the difference between the two. And everything that's good in the hemp plant is also good in the other. Just one of them produces a different type of THC than the other one does.
And if it was decriminalized and illegalized and or whatever, there's the smoking aspect of it to, you know, benefit human beings, and then also the economy, making more money, making more jobs for people. There's a lot of there's so many so many benefits that it's kind of hard to list all the benefits of legalizing. It's right across the board. There's also, you know, there's the hemp aspect of using the hemp for, I believe they were using it for rope and body plates, and you know, there's so much. My head's going a little, throwing around all these benefits of just legalizing it, and it's angering at the fact of why it is illegal, and then, you know, seeing that racism was one of the leading reasons that swayed the voters that were voting to make it illegal. They're like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Up until that point, it didn't make sense. Up until that point, you were for keeping it legal, until you're like, oh God, maybe that is why I can't understand any Mexicans. Maybe that is why that black guy outside looked at me when I was walking in here. He was stoned. Like, okay, I'm not a genius, but that seems kind of retarded. Well, we can also have another topic, because there's so much more to marijuana. I don't feel like we can really fully discuss everything about it in one show. So if you'd like to do another episode with that, we can set that up sometime. And Friday we can go ahead and talk about our wonderful United States government and how much they're looking out for us.
I would be all about that.
All right, perfect. Same time.
I know a little bit about a lot of things. I know a lot about a few things.
Same way. I might, like I said, I might not be a genius, but I there's a lot of topics that I've got good amount of, and it's all just looking into it myself. There's no reason why you should have to go to school to learn something. If you want to learn something, you can do it. You can do it yourself. It might not be as easy as going to school and getting some grant to learn it, but there's a lot of stuff that people can learn themselves, like why marijuana is illegal.
Well, you know, there are so many of our earlier presidents that were self-taught. You know, Lincoln was a self-taught lawyer. Franklin was pretty much self-taught. It's
not a bad skill.
Some of the brightest people in history have been self-taught. And the education system is something else that we can talk about.
Oh,
and
yeah.
How it's really became less about educating, more about indoctrination.
Yep, that's a topic that I've gotten written down. The education, oh my God, the education system. That was the main reason why I got my GED. But I got my GED and scored in the top 6% of Washington State and the top 10% of the United States. So I did pretty damn good. But that's another show. All right, well, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me tonight.
Sounds good, and I'm happy to sit down anytime.
All right, awesome. Same time Friday?
Same time Friday sounds good to me.
Perfect. All right. Well, you have a great night, and yeah, I'll shoot you a link as soon as this is up online, and I'll see you Friday, and I'm sure we'll speak in between that.
All right, you have a good day.
All right, you too.
Well, good evening. All right.
Bye. All right, thank you guys for watching. As you saw, we will be back Friday with another episode of What Chaps My Ass with Chris Ewok Carlson, and we'll be discussing the government. Remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit the reaction button, leave a comment, and give a share. If you can't share from the closed group that you're viewing this video in, just follow the name at the top of the video. Go to our Facebook page, scroll down a little bit, and hit the share onto your page. Remember to hit the like and follow button, and invite all your friends to do the same while you're there. Thank you guys again for watching, and we'll be back soon for another episode of What Chaps My Ass.